The UK is currently seeing a surge in Strep A, with infection levels this month up to 5 times higher than before the pandemic. While serious illness is rare, at least 9 children with Strep A have died. Here's everything we know so far. Strep A is a very common bacterial infection which causes tonsillitis, strep throat, and can also lead to impetigo or scarlet fever.
So Strep A is a bacterial infection. It's very common. A lot of people have strep in their throat or their nose, and it does sometimes cause mild disease. But in very, very rare cases, you can get an invasive form of bacteria that goes deeper into your tissue, which can cause sepsis, which can be life-threatening.
Although Strep A can cause a lot of different serious illnesses, it tends to begin with a few typical symptoms. The signs of a Strep A infection include a rash, a sore throat, flushed cheeks, muscle aches, a high fever, tiredness, an ear infection, and sores on the skin. Scarlet fever symptoms are often flu-like, including a high temperature, a sore throat, and swollen neck glands. A rash appears 12 to 48 hours later, starting on the chest and stomach, and then spreading. A white coating also appears on the tongue which peels, leaving the tongue red, swollen, and covered in little bumps. This is what's called strawberry tongue. Impetigo is a skin infection, which starts with red sores or blisters that then burst, leaving crusty golden patches.
In most cases, it'll just be a mild sore throat, and sometimes it can cause scarlet fever, which is something you might have heard about. It's very common in young children, where you have a sore throat and a rash, and you get a swollen tongue and swollen lymph nodes in your throat. But it's very, very rare that you get these sort of much more dangerous invasive species.
Strep A bacteria is airborne and spreads through cough droplets, sneezes, talking, and contact with infected skin lesions. The bacteria is more likely to spread in crowded places, such as schools, nurseries, or in households if someone in the home is infected.
So because it's in your nose and throat, you can spread it in a similar way to other respiratory illnesses like the flu or like COVID, so through coughing, sneezing, through aerosols, through close contact as well.
Strep A infections such as scarlet fever and impetigo are treated with antibiotics. After a full 24 hours of drugs, people are generally no longer contagious. There is no vaccine currently available for Strep A.
So for example, in the schools where children have been ill and it's been confirmed, they have been offering antibiotics to teachers and other school children, as well as a preventative measure. So that is definitely a useful tool in our arsenal, if we suspect an outbreak.
Strep throat is different from a regular sore throat, and the pain can come on very quickly. The NHS recommends people see their GP or call 111 if a sore throat does not improve after a week, if they are worried, or if they have a high temperature, or feel hot and shivery. Some people carrying Strep A do not have any symptoms, but they are still just as likely to pass on the bug as those with a visible illness. It usually takes 2 to 5 days to become ill after being exposed to the bacteria. In rare and the most severe cases, Strep A bacteria can enter the bloodstream and lead to invasive Group A streptococcal disease. IGAS, as it is known, can trigger lethal sepsis, shock, or meningitis. Toxic shock syndrome is a rapidly progressing infection, causing low blood pressure and damage to organs such as the kidneys, liver, and lungs. This type of toxic shock has a high death rate. While most Strep A infections only cause mild illness, IGAS is a much more serious, and the fatality rate is between 8 and 23%. Strep A is more common in children between the ages of 5 and 15.
Younger children have no protection at all against some of these illnesses that are going around. It's particularly if you're clinically vulnerable, so if you're immunocompromised, that's when it can turn more dangerous.
As with other diseases that spread through cough droplets and sneezes, masks may act as a barrier against infection. However, masks will not prevent a Strep A infection through other channels, such as skin-to-skin contact. And as with COVID, they are not a foolproof way of stopping transmission.
Hand washing, and if you're unwell, obviously try to stay away from people. So maintain some distancing. Yeah, nothing more.
Experts think the knock-on effects of lockdown may be to blame because fewer children have been exposed to Strep A over the last 3 years.
We were also great during COVID at maintaining distance and wearing masks, and that's also drove down all of the other illnesses that normally go down during winter. So we're now all much less well protected from them than we ordinarily would be, and younger children have no protection at all against some of these illnesses that are going around.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more.